Vegeta had arrived at the battlefield. Vegeta was enraged at having discovered all of Banzerot's atrocities. Banzerot is the real culprit for all the destruction that has occurred on the Saiyan planet. Banzerot, the first Saiyan legendary god who had been sealed away for millennia and was back thanks to the wills of the priestess Zakai. Grand Priest Palace. Daishinkan looks at Zakai and says,
Zakai, it looks like your warriors in Universe 7 are about to be defeated.
Enraged Zakai says,
How is it possible? Did Son Goku make it back from the Void Dimension? Even more alongside Vegeta and Beerus. If it continues like this...
Daishinkan observes and speaks.
Even though you've been plotting your revenge for millennia, your gods have weakened over time. Soon, Goku and the others will be victorious.
At that moment, Zakai, with a serious expression on her face, says,
I wouldn't boast yet, Daishinkan.
The High Priest watches and speaks in his mind.
Even though she's apparently at the biggest disadvantage, she still continues to believe in her victory as if she had something hidden.
Zakai starts laughing and says, Ha ha ha, you are still silly as always, Daishinkan. Ha 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 ha. Back to land. Vegeta knew the level of his power and knew where he would go by increasing his strength more and more. Vegeta's power had already become his new Hakai transformation. Vegeta knew that his body was no longer the same. However, he knew that he still had much more to discover about the essence of his powers, after the Dragon God of War Zafir said that Vegeta would be the reincarnation of Yamazaki, an ancient Saiyan god. Vegeta says, Kakarot has already managed to make the essence of his powers becoming the Omni-God, but I still can't raise my energy to the maximum. Cursed Kakarot, when did you reach this level? Vegeta becomes increasingly enraged and his body begins to suffer from various anomalies. Enraged Vegeta looks at Banzerot and says, Does this mean that you did all of this? This other one is already down here. It looks like they already dealt with him. I won't let things go the way you want. It will all end here and now. Banzerot starts laughing and says, I seem to be at a disadvantage. Beerus the Destroyer alongside Goku, and now Vegeta enraged. There's still Gohan and Broly. I think I discredited the Saiyans of this universe too much. Everyone will want to fight me. If I get an attack from all together, it will be the end of me. Goku watches and speaks. You are at a complete disadvantage. It is better to surrender and let yourself be captured. Or if not, we will have to finish you off. At that instant, Vegeta says, Don't get involved in this, Kakarot, you worm. I'll take care of this guy myself. This guy is nothing. I am the most powerful Saiyan. No one here will be able to defeat me. I am the great Vegeta. Vegeta strikes the pose to launch a Big Bang attack directly at Banzerot. Banzerot starts to laugh and says, Ha ha ha, whatever. So I'll have a fight against them all. It will be the only way I can get out of here. At that moment, Vegeta activates his Ultra Ego transformation combined with his power of rage. And he throws Big Bang at Banzerot. Banzerot holds Vegeta's Big Bang. Soon after, Vegeta starts to laugh and says, This is your damn end. While Banzerot holds off Vegeta's Big Bang, Vegeta creates a big final flash and launches it at Banzerot. Frightened Banzerot says, What? When were you able to increase your power this much? Alright partner, why don't you whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos and stay well inside our entire universe of Z Warriors. Let's get back to it. Goku beside Gohan and Beerus started to observe. Gohan says, Before I was finished, fighting Banzerot and Zaki was being very difficult. When using my Beast Mode 2 form, I ended up getting weakened. I believed I had managed to defeat Zaki, but Banzerot had managed to bring him back. Unfortunately, Mr. Piccolo died. Piccolo's body was sprawled on the floor. Omni Goku looks at Piccolo and says, I don't know what's happening to me, but whenever I activate this power, I feel like I can accomplish anything. Omni Goku in small instance looks at Piccolo and creates a great celestial aura around Piccolo and says, at that moment, Goku transfers some of his life energy directly to Piccolo. Piccolo opens his eyes and his wounds begin to heal. Impressed Gohan watches and speaks. What was this? That was really amazing. What kind of technique is this, father? Mr. Piccolo is now back with us. Dad, what you did was fantastic. At that moment, Piccolo was reborn. Goku managed to discover an even greater power at that moment. Goku speaks. Haha, I don't know how I did it. It is very similar to Mr. Whis' skill. I remember that he managed to revive Frieza even though he was unable to use the Super Dragon Balls. Perhaps it has something to do with the power of Ultra Instinct. Beerus starts looking seriously at Goku. Beerus in his thoughts says, how did he manage to do this? This technique is a ban directly from the angels. This could lead to many problems for us in the future, for the simple fact that we are breaking the heavenly rules. Like it or not, Goku is a mortal, so he is not authorized to revive people with angelic magic. But ever since Goku appeared on my planet, I felt that his body was different. Hope you don't get out of control, Goku. In case you lose your mind, I'll have to stop you. On the one hand, I can understand that he met the dragons of fear. But unlike Daishinkan and the other gods, I never trusted the dragon race. Dragon energy has nothing to do with celestial energy. What's going on with Goku's body sounds kind of weird. At that moment, Goku began to feel some anomalies in his body. Goku falls to the ground. Piccolo, after opening his eyes, did not understand how he was alive. Gohan hugs Piccolo and speaks. Mr. Piccolo, you're finally here. You are alive, haha. Piccolo observes and says, what happened here? This guy in front of me has Goku's energy, but his appearance is totally different. Goku, you saved me. Is everything fine with you? At that moment, Goku in the Omniform says, don't worry, Piccolo, look around here. At that instant, we can see that Piccolo had increased his strength more and more. Piccolo was showing much greater performance. Piccolo watches and speaks. Is Vegeta fighting too? What kind of transformation is he showing? Goku and Vegeta's power is incredible. Vegeta looks at Banzerot and says, I will never forgive you. My entire race ceased to exist because of you. All were killed by a manipulation you actually created. Vegeta threw several blows at Banzerot, causing Banzerot to be thrown away. Banzerot could no longer withstand all the blows he had received from Vegeta. Banzerot says, I have no choice. I still need to save Zaki. I cannot die here. It seems that we discredit the mortals of Universe 7 too much. I'll have to use that final technique. Beerus watches and speaks. Vegeta, get out of there. This technique, even for you, can be something extremely complicated. The instant Banzerot lands his ultimate blow on Vegeta, Goku begins to suffer several anomalies in his body, and a planetary energy is brought under his body. Goku's body again transcends and appears in front of Vegeta. Goku was going to receive Banzerot's blow, and the energy sphere enters his body, and it seems that the galaxy began to explode. At that instant, Goku says, Vegeta, I'm sorry, but my body yearns to eliminate this guy. Goku charges forward to attack Banzerot. Banzerot says, ha ha ha, I can't believe this will be the end of me. At that instant, in the Daishinkan Palace, Zakai starts laughing and speaks.
Looks like you're counting victory ahead of time, Daishin-kan.
Daishin-kan says,
Your most powerful gods are practically gone.
At that instant, Zakai says,
Daishin-kan, we are in a war. You should know that you are not the only one with intelligence here. Before Zaki and Banzerot came to battle, I made sure to seal their powers myself. In short, they are not fighting at their full strength, but they are finished in battle. However, thinking this could happen, I left a warrior waiting in case that happened. As you may know, I have 6 universes on my side, and only 4 gods of destruction have been introduced so far. I left him, that sadist from Universe 13, to take care of it all.
Daishin-kan says,
Impossible, don't tell me that.
At that instant on Earth, Goku was about to hit Banzerot with his last attack. At that moment, a large smoke appears over Banzerot's body, throwing him away. Banzerot says, What was this? Zaki was lying on the ground. A voice comes up and says,
Haha, damn, you guys took a beating. They want to fight all the Saiyans and the gods of destruction of the universe together. Haha, they didn't even make a plan. Haha, you would only be able to do this if you were me.
Banzerot says, What are you doing here? At that moment, a being with white hair and a scar on his face begins to smile. Omni Goku, without thinking twice, advances to attack the warrior. Goku says,
You stopped me from finishing Banzerot. You'll pay for that.
The unknown warrior takes Goku's hand and Goku smiles. The unknown warrior says,
Interesting, a full of aggression. Let me introduce myself. I'm Yojiro the Annihilator. Haha.
Yujiro the Annihilator comes face to face with Goku. Omni Goku was about to end the threat of Banzerot, the first Saiyan god, who had let his guard down alongside Zaki, who ended up taking the biggest turn in the fight after Goku and Vegeta had arrived again at Universe 7 on Earth. Broly and Gohan were fighting, holding their own in Universe 7. Gon continues to have his fight against Kai. The battle was getting more and more intense, but after Goku and Vegeta had the conversation and discovered everything about Yamoshi's essence, his powers began to increase more and more. Goku has achieved his new transformation that transcends all powers imaginable. At that moment, Banzerot couldn't imagine that Goku had managed to get so much stronger like that. Goku says,
Good. That's your end, Banzerot. I hope someday we meet and you reincarnate into a better person. While that doesn't happen, this is the moment that everything ends for you. Kamehameha! Or Kamehameha!
Goku's greatest Kamehameha was about to be released. Goku advanced to Banzerot. At that instant, a great light appeared directly on the Earth of Universe 7. Goku stops his Kamehameha and watches and says,
What's going on here? This isn't making any sense. What is this?
Goku steps forward to land a punch on Banzerot and a voice comes up and speaks.
Hahaha, I cannot stop laughing. What happened to you two? Supreme Saiyan Banzerot and Saiyan God Hybrid Zaki knocked out, huh? Hahaha, geez, you look like you two took a real beating. Who was to say that Hybrid Saiyan and Supreme God Saiyan Zaki and Banzerot would be in this deplorable state? Look at you two. Banzerot, you were really close to being defeated. At that moment, Banzerot hears the voice and says,
Is that you, Yujiro?
At that moment, Goku was in the attack position, while his hand is stopped by a being with silver hair, bright eyes, shirtless, and with some scars. Beerus makes a serious face and says,
This guy right here is.
At that moment, Vegeta watched and spoke. Kakarot was about to defeat these two. Who is this guy standing in front of us? Do you know him, Mr. Beerus?
At that moment, Yujiro, who was the unknown being, holds Goku's hand and speaks. Hahaha, so does that mean you are the one the Great Mother of Angels was looking for? This is really going to get interesting. I think you should reflect and come with us, Son Goku. You need to understand both sides of this war. Your strength level is very high. We couldn't waste it by killing you here. Goku starts laughing and says, "Killing me here? Haha, I don't know who you are, but if you look closely, it is your team that is at the biggest disadvantage." The unknown being starts laughing and speaks. That is interesting. I had forgotten that you gave Zaki and Banzerot a real beating. Let me introduce myself, Son Goku. I am Yujiro, the Annihilator. My team was at a disadvantage until now, but now that I've arrived, it's time that the game starts to turn. Yujiro, the Annihilator. Who will this warrior be? He appeared and not even the highest gods expected his arrival. At that moment, Beerus speaks. How is this guy here? It doesn't make any sense. Does that mean he had his choice then? He has decided which way he will fight. At that moment, Goku and everyone else starts to question themselves. Come on, reveal yourself, which universe you are from. At that instant, Beerus says, If I'm not mistaken, Yujiro owes the god of destruction of Universe 13. But what amazes me is that this guy wasn't born a god. At that moment, Vegeta looks on and says, But what are you talking about? Beerus responds, Yujiro in the First Celestial War just decided to fight alongside those who were the most powerful. He managed to show a very great performance, but Yujiro is a common mortal. Like Goku, he wasn't born with great abilities and didn't have many powers. He simply managed to get stronger through the power of his training and his determination. This mortal, even without being of a powerful race, he managed to master Ultra Instinct, the technique that even the gods of destruction struggle to pull off. After that, he went more and more raising his power. Only with brute force did time pass. Yujiro was chosen by the past gods of Universe 13. He was destroying many different planets. As this happened, Yujiro gained the name of an Annihilator. Whenever anyone called him, he would destroy anything. Yujiro destroyed several planets and fought several enemies alone. But it was still somewhat questionable. I couldn't really understand what was going on. As time went on changing and things were happening, Yujiro began to gain more renown. Several gods wanted to take over Universe 13. Yujiro was always summoned to be able to fight these gods. And I speak again, even though I am from the lower class of your unknown race. He managed to eliminate these gods. What caught the attention of the Mother of Angels? Her name of Yujiro the Annihilator had already been given. Until the moment he received the invitation to become the Supreme God of Destruction of Universe 13. At that moment, Vegeta says, You mean this guy's that strong? That sadistic look of his. It seems like he's always hiding something. But what amazes you so much, Mr. Beerus? Is it the fact that he simply became another god of destruction for Universe 13? At that instant, Beerus noticed speech. Really, that would be somewhat questionable, or he could just be another warrior. But this time what impresses me is that, as I said, he wasn't born in Universe 13. He was simply the most powerful mortal, that mortal who surpassed the power of the gods of destruction. Yujiro, the mortal of Universe 2. At that instant, Vegeta says, What? How did he end up in Universe 13? Was there any betrayal? Damn this guy.
He left Zeno-sama and Daishin-kan to directly join the Mother of Angels.
At that moment, Yujiro watches and speaks. Haha, well, let's say I didn't betray anyone. I just never agreed with the ideals of the Great Priest and Zeno-sama. Do you think I would have to agree with a child who just by closing his hands can erase a universe in the blink of an eye? Let alone agree with an angel who protects this child with his life. You make me sick. Anyone who doesn't agree with Zeno's ideals is deleted without a chance to defend themselves. What a joke. Anyone who disagrees with the angels suffers the consequence. Hierarchies of gods only work for those who are the strongest, ended up annihilating the weakest. Haha, this is just how the world is. I just didn't agree with it. Are they going to judge me for it now? Zakai, the Mother of Angels, has always been correct. If it's destruction and celestial disagreements that you want, we only have one way to resolve this, and it will be on the basis of war. The strongest solve it like this, with their fists. Haha. The last one standing is the one who wins. That's how I grew up and how I got my fame as the Annihilator. I have always been devoted to the Mother of the Angels, Zakai, so I'm just here to bring balance and help my people. Son Goku, have you thought about your answer? Come with me, let's go together to Universe 13, and then we'll meet the Mother of Angels, Zakai. Goku watches and says, "This guy started talking in the middle of the fight with me. He simply ignored that he was fighting me and went to answer Mr. Beerus. This guy's watching. He's smiling like it's no big deal. Perhaps it is better to analyze this enemy further." At that moment, Yujiro starts to smile and says, "He knows. I've always tried to select the most powerful warriors here in this universe, and you should know that there are extremely powerful beings who also don't agree with the decisions of the Celestials here." One of these warriors I sympathized a lot and made him a proposal. The first message to all of you is that never in a war start listening to the enemy. This is the biggest opening to let your guard down and be at the mercy of the enemy. At that instant, while Yujiro was speaking, another presence had appeared in front of everyone's backs and a large beam of energy is launched over Vegeta's chest. Vegeta unknowingly has his chest pierced with a huge attack from behind. Vegeta kneels on the ground and says, "What was this?" Beerus looks back and Goku says, "You can't be miserable. You do not change." A big laugh breaks out. Black Frieza. Frieza, always regarded as the greatest and greatest villain of all. Frieza, after being revived, began to have different thoughts of what he would have to do and the decisions he would have to make in the midst of everything that was happening. Moments ago, before Yujiro the Annihilator arrived on Earth, Yujiro spoke by telepathy with the High Priestess Zakai, who said, "It looks like everyone's plan to capture Son Goku could go down the drain. Haha, I said that if Panzerot and Zaki joined forces, no one would ever be able to defeat them. But they always prefer to fight that individual way. Apart from the fact that they are very hard-headed, they didn't want to take their armies to the enemy camp. I believe that only they could solve this. Other than that, this trick of wanting to consider the enemy that he is weak makes the two lower their guards too much. Can you understand that? I mean, I think you are the only one who can solve this situation. You are most sensible now, haha." "What do you think, Yujiro? Haha. Or will you want to go back and stand next to the Great Priest?" At that moment, Yujiro appears and starts smiling, saying, "Haha, Mother of Angels, that's not quite how things work. I guess I couldn't cheat on her. My way of thinking goes against the law and the freedom of many, and your majesty knows this very well. But there is a warrior who is known as the cunning and tyrant of Universe 7, who, in pursuit of power, always accepts doing anything. He just had to keep an eye on his attitudes, that everything will be resolved. This mortal caught my attention. I'm sure that if we offer something in return, he can collaborate with us and still be of great help. His race is quite intriguing, and I think some beings of that same race are on his side, isn't it?" Zakai starts laughing and says, "Hahaha, are you referring to the cold demons?" Yujiro laughs at Zakai and says, "Haha, exactly." In past moments, when Frieza had managed to escape the planet of the Destruction Cats after Goku and Broly caused a major catastrophe there in rescuing Shirei, Frieza escaped and returned to his ship and began to wander in space with his army thinking what would be his next attitude, since Frieza wanted to become an emperor of the entire universe. At that moment, in the blink of an eye, Yujiro appears directly on Frieza's ship. Frieza says,
"Well, you don't have a face that belongs to the breed of cats of destruction. The face of yours looks like a Saiyan, but I feel a totally different energy in you. Who are you and what do you want with me?"
At that moment, Yujiro starts to laugh insanely and talks. "I just have an invitation to make to you, Frieza. I belong to Universe 13. You definitely want to become something much bigger than a god of destruction. I can tell by your ambition, and I know exactly what you must do to achieve that goal. Hehehe, how about we come to an agreement?" Frieza starts to smile and says,
"This is interesting. I don't know you, but I already like you."
The two sadistic gazers begin to stare at each other in space. Back to present times. Black Frieza attacks Vegeta from behind in the Celestial War. Beerus, enraged, and speaks, "You don't take care of it, do you, Frieza? How dare you attack a war ally in front of the destruction of this universe?" Vegeta says, "Is this wretch still alive? He disappears for all this time, and when he appears, he's next to the enemy. I will not forgive you." Vegeta received a serious blow. Beerus says, "Well, calm down, Vegeta. Try to recover at least a little energy. We will look for some seed of the gods." At that moment, Gohan and Broly are watching. Gohan says, "Damn it, I still haven't managed to recover all my energy, and Frieza is using this new transformation, becoming Black Frieza. Damn it, what is he going to do? We need to pay close attention." Yujiro, smiling, speaks, "Have you seen only Goku? I said that the turnaround time in the battle would now begin." Goku launches a Kamehameha in front of Yujiro. Yujiro dodges with great ease and starts laughing. "Haha, what is this? Did you think that you would be able to defeat me? Are you going crazy?" Yujiro starts laughing maniacally. At that moment, Yujiro was startled to see that Goku was no longer in front of him. Goku had transported straight in front of Frieza. Yujiro speaks, "So does that mean what it is? You want to fight Frieza himself? Haha, but it won't. I'm coming to you, Goku." Yujiro advances towards Goku, but at that moment, Beerus enters the front. Beerus, smiling, says, "For you to get to Goku, you'll have to go through me first. I have questions for you." Yujiro starts laughing and says, "Haha, let's see if he's not the big wrecker who has matters to deal with me. I feel honored." When I was little, I already heard about the legends of Beerus, the Cat of Destruction, that wiped out his entire race. Beerus starts throwing punches at Yujiro. At that moment, Goku faces Black Frieza and says, "No matter what happens, you don't change, Frieza. No matter what we do, you always come up with these attitudes. I will resolve this situation with you here and now." Frieza starts laughing, activating his black form, while Goku was already using his Omni King transformation. Black Frieza says,
"He knows, just a little. Sometimes we need to choose the best paths that mean for us to achieve our goals. Then you will be able to really understand why things have to happen. Do you understand, Son Goku? Your power level can get higher and higher, and you know that I would not accept that you were the greatest power reference in Universe 7. I think this universe no longer belongs to me. In this universe, it no longer means anything to me. Right now, I'm going to show you everything I'm capable of, and everything that must happen in the course of these battles."
Black Frieza launches a large blast of energy directly at Goku. Goku dodges and begins to attack Frieza with great mastery. Omni Goku says, No matter what level of power Frieza has, what you did was unacceptable. I'm already tired of always passing a cloth under the atrocities you carried out. Receive now my strongest power." Goku recreates a large spirit bomb right on his arm and tries to land a punch directly at Frieza. Frieza is thrown away and says,
"How did you manage to get so strong? What kind of power is this? I cannot understand."
At that moment, a huge explosion had occurred. Several blows had been thrown. Frieza tries to counter Goku Omni by throwing several blows at Goku. Goku starts to dodge and lands several attacks on Black Frieza. Frieza begins to receive a total disadvantage. Black Frieza says,
"Why is it always like this? Why are you always one step ahead? I cannot understand. I had already overcome it with the power of my black form. Am I going to have to reveal another secret here now?"
Goku was about to attack Frieza again and launch the final attack. At that moment, back to Beerus's fight against Yujiro. Yujiro watches everyone and speaks. "Good. I think you better pay close attention. The things that can happen here are going to be pretty puzzling. You have questions for me, Beerus. I confess that this is somewhat interesting, but still, we have some issues to be resolved, and you will need to understand what will really happen in the course of all this. You will understand that powers that are the highest are those that the strongest have already decided who will be the most powerful and who will be victorious in the midst of this. Can you see that? This fight will get more and more interesting. The presence of the one who was the strongest is waiting for you." Beerus watches and speaks. "Who are you talking about?" At that moment, Yujiro says, "Haha, it seems you forget all your family, Beerus. You shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't forget those who are the strongest, and especially what they could do." Frieza was kneeling in front of Goku as he practically cried, and Goku lunged in front of him. Frieza says,
"Does that mean it's going to be like this? For the 1000th time, you will kill me mercilessly. I should expect that from you."
Serious Goku speaks. You will never be forgiven, Frieza." Frieza smiles slightly. Vegeta, with his breathless voice, speaks.
"Kakarot, you idiot! Frieza would never give up in a battle. As always, you will let your guard down. You didn't realize what happened last time."
At that moment, Goku says, "It won't be the same as before. Frieza has no more strength to fight." At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. "Then that's it. Yujiro, you damn. Goku, get out of there immediately." In a few moments, an arm pierces Omni Goku's chest from the back. Goku speaks.
What was that?
Impossible. Who are you?" At that instant, a voice arises and speaks too. "Beerus, how long has it been, my dear brother? Looks like you discovered me too late. I finally found you." To be continued. Who is this brother of Beerus? What's going on in the middle of all this? Alright partner, what do you believe and what do you imagine of all this? Regardless of what it is, it's more than important that you share your thoughts in the comments below so we can get into that crazy debate. Whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. That's all there is to it, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.